Hello everybody, welcome back to Kingdom Hearts 3. This episode is going to be a little bit different. For those of you who don't know, there are a lot of Kingdom Hearts games. Well over 10 if I remember correctly. And Kingdom Hearts 3 is supposed to be the top off point for those past games leading up to this point. But there's a lot of people who don't know the actual story and build up to Kingdom Hearts 3. And Kingdom Hearts 3 actually has a feature in the game where it looks back on previous events of the series to help you understand it. And that's what I'm showing off today. You've seen part of it already. I use it as the intro for this series, and it's the best I can do. But unfortunately, it leaves some blanks. I'm gonna probably try to fill in the blanks to help you out a little bit better, but yeah. I'm gonna just leave you to enjoy the story of Kingdom Hearts.
I may have to fight the Nidus after all, whatever it takes.
I don't need the Keyblade. I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power.
Thousands of years ago, there was a being known as the Master of Masters. The Master of Masters had the ability to see into future events and foretell what would happen. One day, the Master of Masters chooses 5 of his apprentices to hand down his book of prophecies in which he foretold the future events. Said 5 apprentices came together to discuss the contents of the book, in which they noticed that from each one of their books a page had been torn out. Upon finding this, the 5 of them came to the conclusion that there had been a traitor among them that had tore out the page. Upon coming to this conclusion, the 5 apprentices, or as the title they were giving, foretellers, split into 5 separate groups of Keyblade warriors to serve under them respectively. We don't know much after this, but we do know that in the game Union Cross, these events led to you creating and being the warriors that fought and inevitably lost their lives in the Great Keyblade War.
Who are we fighting? How did this all begin? And why did it take us so long to notice?
As a Keyblade master, Xehanort had a gift like few others.
Ansem. Or Xehanort. You used to be a Keyblade wielder, but darkness stole your heart, and the Keyblade with it.
Twice now, Master Xehanort has sought to drag the world into a great Keyblade war between the forces of light and darkness.
They say ruin brings about creation. So what then would another Keyblade war bring? I must have these answers. The Keyblade needs to be forged, and with it the door to the Keyblade war unlocked.
But both times, his ambitions have been thwarted. In his first attempt, he divided a boy's heart into two beings, a pure light named Ventus, and a pure darkness named Vanitas. The two were to clash and forge a relic known as the Keyblade.
Empty creature from Ventus Riven. To you, the name Vanitas shall be given.
So what are you waiting for? Join with me, right here and now. Become the Keyblade.
He told me the only way the Keyblade can be forged is if you and me fight. Well, guess what? I'm not fighting.
3 students of Master Ericus, Xehanort's former brother in training, rose up in order to stop the Keyblade from being forged.
I may have to fight Vanitas after all. If I do, guys, I want you to...
The 3 of us can never be torn apart, all right? I'll always find a way.
They fought bravely, and their strong bond allowed them to triumph over Xehanort.
I've got a better idea. How about I destroy you both?
The Keyblade is made of your heart too, idiot. If you destroy it, your heart will vanish forever.
Whatever it takes. Anything to save Terra and Aqua.
But all 3 paid a terrible price, and their destinies were sealed. The destruction of the Keyblade plunged Ventus into a deep sleep. Aqua sacrificed herself to the realm of darkness to save Terra. And by the time he was found, Terra was going by a different name.
Xehanort.
Master Xehanort's second attempt to start the Keyblade War involved pitting 7 pure lights against 13 darknesses. His heart and body acted separately. His heart, Ansem, manipulated Riku and Maleficent into capturing the 7 pure lights he needed, the Princesses of Heart. His body, Xemnas, founded Organization 13, who would serve as the 13 darknesses. But his plans were dashed by Sora and his friends, who defeated Ansem and Xemnas.
Light! But why?
Organization 13's true goal is to divide Xehanort's heart among 13 vessels.
13 Xehanorts? What is...
The real Organization 13.
Now, Master Xehanort has warned of a 3rd attempt to start his war.
Huh? Master Xehanort! We were right about you!
All of this was decided. My 12 selves would welcome me here on this day, when I would return a complete person. It is the future which lies beyond my sight. Let us finish this at the fated place, once your lights and my darknesses have joined together.
13 darknesses, 7 lights. The end is coming.
Alright, and now to fill in some things. First things first, Ventus. I wish I could say the in-game recap did a bad job at explaining the origins of everybody in Birth by Sleep, but that is truly how we are introduced to Ventus in the game. Ventus is a boy found by Master Xehanort with the unique ability, well, unique at the time, to wield a Keyblade. Outside of that, we have really no way of knowing where Ventus came from or who he even is. Or do we? You see, it is currently a very popular belief within the Kingdom Hearts community as of recently that Ventus is in fact this foreteller from Kingdom Hearts' back cover. Outside of that thought, we have no real way of confirming if this is true, if Ventus is or related to that exact foreteller, but it is the common belief that that is where Ventus came from and that is who he is. And to keep on the same scale, you've probably noticed that Vanitas looks a whole lot like Sora. When Xehanort split Ventus' heart in two to create Vanitas, he left Ven to die on Destiny Islands. But Ven's heart had a backup plan to heal. It sought refuge in the heart of a boy named Sora. Ventus soon recovered, where he was brought to Master Ericus by Xehanort, where he met Terra and Aqua. And last but not least, Terra calling himself Xehanort. At the end of the game Birth by Sleep, Terra, Aqua, and Ven all come together at the Keyblade Graveyard, the site of the first Great Keyblade War. It is there the three of them confront Master Xehanort to thwart his plan of forging the Keyblade. They fail. As you saw, Ventus took it upon himself to destroy the Keyblade and Vanitas, putting his heart in a deep sleep. In the process, Xehanort's heart possessed Terra's body, thus turning Terra into Xehanort, or as the community likes to call him, Terranort. Aqua finds Terra in this state in the Radiant Gardens. The two of them have a small confrontation before both of them fall into the realm of darkness. But with her quick thinking, Aqua used her Keyblade and Keyblade armor to free Terra from the realm of darkness, leaving herself to fall. It is then when Terra's body is found on the ground by Ansem the Wise, in which Terra exclaims his name is Xehanort. Meanwhile, Aqua explores the realm of darkness in hopes of finding a way to escape. Unfortunately, she does not find a way out, but while she looks, a very familiar adventure occurs.
Do you remember this story? It begins with Sora and his friends Kairi and Riku. The three are inseparable, and they believe another world is waiting out beyond the sea.
Sora, don't ever change.
Huh?
Once we set sail, it'll be great.
But then darkness consumes the islands they call home and tears them apart.
The door is open, Sora. Now we can go to the outside world.
Sora wakes up in an unknown world, and before long he meets two courageous companions, a magician named Donald and a knight named Goofy.
Hey, why don't you come with us? We can go to other worlds on our vessel.
They embark on an adventure and make countless friends.
They do seem a little different. Where are you from?
And a few enemies.
Ah, the boy who holds the key.
This world will be plunged into darkness.
After coming this far, there's no way we're gonna let that happen.
Just as Sora is starting to grasp the power of the Keyblade, he comes face to face with his friend Riku.
It is I, Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness.
I know now I don't need the Keyblade. I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power.
But that's just the beginning of the tale. Little do Sora and his friends realize what fate has in store for them.
I think we all know the story for Kingdom Hearts 1, so this is going to be a pretty short segment. Sora's home, Destiny Islands, is pulled into darkness, which leads to Sora, Kairi, and Riku being thrown into different worlds. In the process, Kairi's heart merging with Sora's. Sora wakes in Traverse Town, Keyblade SI, where he meets Goofy and Donald Duck. The three of them embark on an adventure to stop the darkness at the same time to find Sora's friends. Now, we all know that story, yada yada yada, but it's the stuff that happens in between that's of interest here. In the final mixed version of Kingdom Hearts 1, you encounter two shadowy figures, and both of those figures are Xehanort. One of them being a time-traveling version of the main villain of the game, Ansem, the other being Xehanort's nobody, Xemnas. And yes, I did say time traveling, but that's a story for later. But for a quick sum up, Sora defeats Ansem and embarks on a secondary journey.
Are the memories we share with the people we love our only true connection to them? Sora, Donald, and Goofy have been searching for King Mickey and Riku. They're friends who were stranded on the other side of the door to darkness. A clue leads them to a mysterious citadel called Castle Oblivion.
Riku! You mean Riku's here?
Proceed, Sora. To lose and claim anew, or to claim anew only to lose.
Sora is determined to press on and look for his friends. But as he climbs, his most precious memories begin to slip away. He is being tricked by Marluxia and a mysterious organization who are trying to make him their puppet. Unaware that the events of his past have been rewritten inside his mind, Sora races to the top of the castle to save a girl named Naminé.
Sora, what happened to you?
What's that mean? You want me to abandon her?
But there, he learns the shocking truth.
Even if you come for me, what then?
If you don't stop this, no one will.
Naminé has special powers, and she's the one who's been changing Sora's memory.
Just make it count.
The girl you've been trying to protect all this time is really a manipulative witch who shackles people's hearts.
Erase my memories! Destroy my heart! I promised. I'll always protect you. You have to believe me.
You turn from the truth because your heart is weak. You will never defeat me!
This would be Sora's first encounter with Organization 13, but certainly not his last. Think now for a moment about your best friend. Someone you couldn't bear to lose.
For the 7 days since my arrival, the name Roxas and the number 13 were all I had.
His mind a blank slate, Roxas starts counting the days, determined to never forget anything again. He and his friend Axel go on missions for the organization.
Today makes 255. It's been that many days since I first joined the organization.
So, you got the number memorized, do you?
They are soon joined by the group's 14th member, a girl named Xion. Like Roxas, she has no memory of her past.
Let us all welcome one of the Keyblade's chosen.
The three have been told they don't have hearts, that they're nobodies. And yet it's strange. They start to realize how much they care about each other.
Axel, does that mean you and I are friends, too?
Well, if you're friends with Roxas, then yeah, of course you're my friend.
If only all of this could last forever.
Just give me another chance.
We can't afford to take any more chances on you. You were a mistake we never should have made.
Xion's darkest secret.
Is it that I'm not supposed to exist?
Xion is a puppet created to duplicate your powers.
Is that she only exists to seize control of Sora's power, the Keyblade's power.
Both of them have connections to Sora, but we only need one of them.
You mean they have to destroy her? Answer me!
Roxas, if somebody doesn't, then you won't be you anymore.
If they really have no hearts, then why does the truth hurt this much? The grief?
You can't turn on the organization. You get on their bad side and they'll destroy you.
No one would miss me.
That's not true. I would.
The anger?
Please don't hold back, Axel. Promise.
What's your problem? You both think you can do whatever you want. Well, I'm sick of it. Go on, you just keep running. But I'll always be there to bring you back!
The loss?
You're next, Roxas. I have to make you a part of me too. Don't you see? This is why I was created.
The emptiness.
See you again. I'm glad I got to meet you. Oh. And of course, Axel too. You are both my best friends. Never forget. That's the truth.
But I believe there's hope for them. Don't you? One day they'll be together again. Making tough choices isn't easy. But if that's what it takes to save a friend... Riku discovers Sora in Castle Oblivion, suspended in a deep sleep. He is faced with a decision.
In your heart there is darkness. And in that darkness is Ansem. Riku, please choose.
I don't need my heart locked. I'm ready. I'm gonna fight Ansem.
You're not gonna lose. I know it.
You shall sink into the abyss!
Riku embraces his inner darkness and resolves to carry it toward the light.
What are you making me choose now?
Between the road to light and the road to darkness.
Neither suits me. I'm taking the middle road.
Do you mean the Twilight Road to Nightfall?
No. It's the road to dawn.
In time, Riku crosses paths with Shion, who attacks him with a false Keyblade.
Tell me first, why you are dressed as one of us.
To make sure my best friend sleeps in peace. I don't know who you're supposed to be, but you can't fight fire with sparks.
He learns that Organization 13 is using her and Roxas to drain Sora of his memories and power.
Sora's memories are escaping through Sora's nobody into a third person. And now, they're starting to become a part of her.
Now, Sora has been put to sleep so that we can piece together his memory. Except...
You can't because part of it is inside of me. That means he can't wake up.
Yeah. You got it.
To save his best friend, Riku prepares for the inevitable.
I have to face one of the organization's members soon. I might not survive the fight. And if I do, it might be because I gave in to the darkness.
And Shion chooses to do the same.
I belong with Sora. And now I am going back to be with him.
Riku and Roxas clash, both desperate to save a friend.
Why are you trying to stop me?
Because I want back the rest of Sora's memories.
I'll set Kingdom Hearts free. Then everything will be the way it was. She'll come back. And the three of us can be together again.
You mean Shion? It's a struggle just to remember the name now. Either way, I can't let you go doing anything crazy.
Riku's overpowered and decides not to hold his darkness back any longer.
You've left me with no other choice.
What?
I have to release the power in my heart. The dark power that I've been holding back, even if it changes me forever.
I have accepted it.
Each fork in the road shapes who we are, but Riku won't look back. Not while his friends need him.
Okay, I know that seemed like a lot, but there's a good reason for that. Everything in those past few clips all happened at the same time. So at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, Sora, Riku, Mickey, and a small assist from Aqua sealed off the door to darkness which Ansem had opened in his attempt to weaponize Kingdom Hearts. After that, Sora set out on a journey with Don and Goofy to look for Mickey and Riku, coming across Castle Oblivion, which they go through and fight off the organization. Blah blah blah, you already know that. That's what the recap told you. But at the same time as all of this happening, the organization is sending 2 new members off on missions to collect hearts so they can use Kingdom Hearts and become whole again. Those 2 members being named Roxas and Shion. You see, the organization is made up of beings known as nobodies, the lifeless shell that exists when a person's heart becomes a heartless. In Kingdom Hearts 1, to free Kairi's heart from his own, Sora stabbed himself with Riku's Keyblade, which in turn released Kairi's heart at the same time releasing his own. Yes, Sora killed himself to save his best friend. While Sora was turned back to normal, in the process of Sora doing this, his nobody was created. If you haven't figured it out by now, his nobody is Roxas. Over time, Roxas begins to drive a wedge between himself and the organization after learning that one of his best friends, Shion, is a puppet created to steal his and subsequently Sora's power. Because of being created for this purpose, Shion has the ability to wield a Keyblade and is subsequently another version of Sora. Now you're probably wondering, why am I telling you all this? This is exactly what the in-game recap told you. Correct, but there's purpose to this, just give me a minute. You see, while Sora travels through Castle Oblivion, Roxas and Shion's memories start getting flooded with Sora's instead of their own. That is due to the fact that Naminé, who is Kairi's nobody, is altering with Sora's memories. You see, if Sora himself can't be whole, Roxas and Shion can't exist as they are. Upon learning this, Shion fights for the very sake of being destroyed so that Sora's memories can be whole again. But Roxas refuses to accept this as a solution to the problem, which actually leads to Roxas himself entering Castle Oblivion and engaging in a battle with Sora. Now, it may seem like I'm telling things out of order, but trust me, it all makes sense in the end. Roxas and Shion engage in a fight in which Roxas wins, releasing Shion back to Sora. But before any of that, Riku himself wakes up in Castle Oblivion, where he learns to confront the darkness within him. This eventually leads to Riku and Roxas getting into a fight in which Riku wins upon embracing the darkness in his heart, which in turn changes his face to resemble that of Ansem's. And from here is where we lead into Kingdom Hearts 2. From here is when things are going to get a lot more complicated, because now I have to explain the games that didn't get a recap. So bear with me, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. In Kingdom Hearts 2, for the first 3 hours of gameplay, we catch up with Roxas after the events of 358. And here's where I want to explain something that I didn't explain during the 358 recap. Roxas looks exactly like Ventus. If you've been paying attention, I think you already know why. When Ventus's heart bonded with Sora's so that it may heal, it defaulted the process of Sora's creating a nobody so that he looked like Ventus. Therefore, that is why Roxas is an exact copy of Ventus. But back to plot, we catch up with Roxas with his friends Hainer, Pence, and Olette. Roxas is just trying to live a happy, quiet life on summer vacation with his friends when he's greeted by memories, but not his own, Sora's. After this starts, Twilight Town starts getting infested by nobodies, and Roxas is soon greeted by Axel. After this, Roxas makes a seemingly telepathic connection to Kairi, But upon speaking to her, it isn't Roxas speaking, but it's Sora. A trait that is later attributed to Sora whenever something of Roxas's memories return. Eventually, Roxas regains his ability to use the Keyblade and soon makes his way to Twilight Town's mysterious mansion. It is here where we as the player learn that the Twilight Town that Roxas is living in is a simulation, and it is also here where Roxas discovers a sleeping Sora and returns himself to Sora's heart. Very soon after, Sora, Goofy, and Donald wake up and immediately return to their mission to find King Mickey and Riku. Along the way, Sora has multiple run-ins and battles with members of the organization, including Roxas. If you manage to beat this fight in less than an hour, I salute you. At the end of the day, Sora reunites with Riku and Kairi can use a Keyblade? The answer is yes. When she was a kid, Aqua granted Kairi the ability to use a Keyblade when she got older. Anyway, Sora and Riku come to a final confrontation with Xemnas, who if you remember is Xehanort's nobody, in which the two of them work together to defeat him once and for all. The catalyst of the battle is that Riku and Sora are thrown into the realm of darkness, but they're very soon rescued by a bottle in the water? And the bottle is a letter sent to them by Kairi that somehow traveled to a completely different realm of existence, but we're ignoring that. And it opened up a gateway for them to escape the realm of darkness. And they all lived happily ever after. Except they didn't. You see, at Disney Castle, Donald, Goofy, and Mickey are having a new problem. You see, when Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Jiminy, oh yeah, and Jiminy Cricket was there too, I guess I forgot to mention that, woke up, they had no memories of their events in Castle Oblivion. The only thing they had retained from that adventure was a note in Jiminy's journal that read, "Thank Naminé." But because they have no memories, they have no idea who Naminé is. So back at Disney Castle, Jiminy has the idea to put his journal through a database to help them recall what happened. But while they're looking through the journal, they soon realize that the data has been corrupted, so they create a fighting force to destroy the corruption. I think we all see where this is going. They create a digital version of Sora to go through the worlds left in the journal and help restore the data. It's literally Kingdom Hearts 1 again with some bits from Chain of Memories and Kingdom Hearts 2, and that's it. But eventually, the further data Sora digs through the archives of Jiminy's journal, the more stuff from the Dataverse bleeds into reality. For example, a data version of Riku. I'm gonna be honest, at first glance, it really seems like the story of this game has nothing to do with the actual story of the game, until he shows up. To this day, the community still doesn't know if this is a data version of Roxas or if it's the actual Roxas. It's hard to tell. Like I said, at this point, stuff from the datascape is bleeding into reality and vice versa. The vice versa being the entirety of Disney Castle is in the datascape. After all this craziness is said and done, Mickey sends a letter out to Sora and Riku, which tells them it's time for them to take their Mark of Mastery exams. Sora and Riku arrive at Master Yensid's tower, and yes, I do realize I have bad timing introducing characters, and they're given their mission for the Mark of Mastery. Sora and Riku are sent to multiple different worlds, some they've been before and some new to them, to awaken the worlds that have fallen to darkness. The two's paths are constantly crossing and overlapping with one another's, but never truly intertwining until the halfway point of the game. It is at this point where Riku, Sora, and Mickey learn of Master Xehanort's plan to start the Keyblade War once again. After this, throughout the story, Sora has constant encounters with people from the past with a special connection to him, including Roxas, Xion, and Ventus. At the end of the day, Riku is granted the title of a Keyblade Master while Sora fails the exams and is sent off to learn the power of waking. And that is where we pick up in Kingdom Hearts 3.
I did it! Yes! Oh my god, I finally did it! Yes, yes! Guys, I really hope you like this video. If there's anything that you're still a little confused on, I'll be more than happy to help you figure it out in the comments. I can't do any more for this video. If there's something you want explained in a video, I'm sorry. Listen, I plan on live streaming Kingdom Hearts 3. It's like sometime again soon. It's not all gonna be recordings. Remember that I said that earlier. I might live stream some things. I might record some things. So if you manage to catch me while I'm live streaming the game, I'll be sure to answer it there. If you don't know where I'll be live streaming the game, it's most likely not gonna be here on YouTube. It's most likely gonna be here. So be sure to go check that out so you can catch if I do live stream this game sometime soon. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everybody! Haven't done that one in a while.